Joe Rogan has to be one of the most popular comedians and podcasters in the world right now. He has hundreds of millions of views on YouTube and a reported 190 million Spotify downloads per month, and he's had some of the most popular names in pop culture to feature on his podcast. But how did we get there? Well, I don't think that's the correct question to be asking. I think we should look at how Joe Rogan has actually ruined podcasting. Look at how Joe Rogan's mammoth success has actually crushed the hopes and dreams of many aspiring podcasters around the world. And lastly, we should look at what Joe Rogan's success means for the future of podcasting as a whole. Joe Rogan was born on the 11th of August of 1967, and he was born in Newark, New Jersey. At the age of 13, Joe took a keen interest in martial arts, first starting out with karate and later transitioning into taekwondo. Joe would find incredible success in this martial art, where he won the US Open Championship 4 times in a row by the age of 19. After completing his studies at the University of Massachusetts, Joe Rogan made the decision to pursue a career in stand-up comedy. He relocated to Los Angeles in 1994, where Joe yet again found great success, landing himself multiple TV roles, becoming the voice for UFC commentary, and releasing multiple comedy specials throughout his comedy career. But what about the Joe Rogan Experience, which is probably why so many of us have heard of Joe Rogan in the first place? Well, the first episode of the Joe Rogan Experience was in 2009, and according to Joe, the podcast was a slow burner to say the least. But from 2015 onwards, the Joe Rogan Experience became the most popular podcast in the world, featuring many high-profile guests such as Kanye West, Elon Musk, Kevin Hart, Miley Cyrus, and Brendan Shaw. But how has Joe Rogan ruined the podcast industry? Well, it's a very simple answer, and it's probably not the answer you expected or wanted. But Joe Rogan is simply too good at what he does. You see, with Joe signing his $200 million Spotify deal in 2020, Joe Rogan has showcased to many aspiring podcasters what was possible. The problem is that Joe Rogan has set the bar so high for podcasting that nobody can even come close. From Joe Rogan's production quality, to the guests, to Joe's personality, the Joe Rogan Experience is such a dynamic show in terms of the shifts in tonality between episodes, with some podcasts being hilarious.
And on the way home, we got on the bus, and while we were waiting there, my stomach started hurting. I said, Jesus Christ, I don't know if I'm gonna shit myself or fart, but let me just take a chance.
Good move.
And I blew this fart, Joe Rogan. That was so bad. Right? We were on a bus, and people started running to the windows, right, to swing down the bus windows. But here's what gets better. I farted again, and the teachers were going, "Oh my God, he's changing flavors." But the worst thing was the cheerleaders were crying. That's how bad it smelled. They were sitting in front of the bus going,
Others being quite sad and heartfelt.
So my mother was a woman who struggled with extreme mental health issues and drug addiction, and she would never come out of her room, Joe. She would come downstairs, and she'd throw a record on, and she'd light a cigarette at the table. And dude, I would watch the house change. Brothers, sisters, neighbors coming over. Her friends start flooding the house. Joe, I would watch our kitchen turn into a nightclub, and she'd start telling stories. And listen, we didn't have Google. We had to believe the bitch back then, right? You know? But something changed in her when the record went on. So I just knew that this lady never fucking leaves that room, and when she does, it seems like the music does it. So I spent my whole life writing songs for her.
And some podcasts even being extremely motivational.
I've had people say to me, like, why do you do so many jobs? Why do you have so many things you do? Like, why do you keep moving? Why do you do so much? Because I remember being scared. I remember being broke. I remember having no idea where the fuck the money was coming from or what my future was going to be. Feeling of not succeeding is what motivates you.
It's fair to say that the man is untouchable when it comes to podcasting. Joe Rogan's success showed that podcasts could be more than just 3 guys sitting in their mum's basement talking nonsense for an hour and a half. It showed that podcasts could be more than a hobby or a passion project. Joe Rogan's success highlighted how lucrative the podcast market actually is, and this is where the real problem lies. Everybody is now seeing how profitable podcasts can be. You've probably noticed a trend on YouTube and social media as a whole where everybody and their mother now has a podcast. And there's nothing wrong with being entrepreneurial or business savvy, but the truth is, not everyone should have a podcast. And sure, everybody has their own unique take or perspective that can further enhance other people's perceptions or outlooks on the weird and wacky world that we live in.
But some people should really not have a podcast. And for whatever reason, if you don't believe me, take a look at this
clip.
Did I have a problem with any other lady here besides you?
You were trying to talk down to us and have us respect you without giving us respect.
No,
like
no, no.
You said,
Shut the
reading.
fuck up. See, that's what pisses me off. I said, if you respect me, I'm gonna respect you. We tell you, ladies, get here at 7:45. See, here's the thing, bro. If me and you have a problem, I'm gonna go beat your man's ass. I'm not gonna touch you.
No,
Yo, speaking to
And
the
you
fucking
did
mic,
say
bro.
shut the fuck up.
Yo, all right, speaking to the mic, because I can't hear you. This is my fucking show. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
okay,
We literally told you guys to be here at 7:45.
My
So-
adrenaline rushing. Stop fucking playing with me.
So
Stop
what
talking
are
to me like
you
that.
gonna do? Easy, just get up and get the fuck out, bro. I'm gonna tell you one thing. If she swings on me, I'm swinging back, bro.
Let's go. All of you go. Let's go.
Is this for real? I thought this was a
All of you
joke.
go.
Now, some people may look at the clips that I've presented and thought, you know what, that actually wasn't too bad, and that is totally fine, because what separates a good podcast from a bad one is a highly subjective topic. Now, that's great, but this still feeds into another problem, which is overall quality. I feel like people now see podcasts as another get-rich-quick scheme, and as a result, there's now an issue of quality versus quantity, leading to people creating mindless content with the hope of getting that one viral clip that's gonna skyrocket their podcast onto Joe Rogan levels of success. And I think this is why the majority of modern podcasts are failing. So how did Joe Rogan ruin podcasts? The man's simply too good. He set the bar so high and nobody can come close to his levels of success. The man has built a literal empire. But if you have enjoyed this one, then leave a like, comment what you want to see next, and as always, we will talk soon.